Yeah, so thank you very much. Now let's go into this fully. Let's go into this fully. So, good morning or good day, everybody. Good day, everybody. Yeah, good day. Yeah, it's Paul FX. It's Paul FX. So now let's go into this. Let's go into what our analysis. Our analysis for should I don't want to say for the week, but if you actually get this analysis right, you understand, if you get it right, if you get the entries right, it may be the analysis for what, for the week. Yeah, so thank you very much. So now let us go into this fully. Now our first asset is what, crash 500. Yeah, so our first asset is what, crash 500. We're actually going to be analyzing 3 to 4 assets. Yeah, 3 to 4 assets. So you don't need how will I say now, you don't need all the pairs to be rich. You just need some pairs, some good pairs to what, to make money. Yeah, basically some good pairs to make money. Besides, I don't trade everything I don't trade all assets in the market. I don't trade all assets in the what, in the market. So now, as you can see, I'm already drawing my watch, my trend line. I'm drawing my trend line already. So basically, yeah, so I'm drawing my trend line. So drawing your trend line doesn't mean you actually get it all right the first time. Like you can see, I actually drew one from there, then I adjusted it. It's not as if that one is not correct. It's correct, but I adjusted it also, yeah, like this. So yeah, so now let me draw another trend line to show us what the pattern. Some people say synthetic index does not respect patterns. It does. Mostly I've seen it respect on boom and crash very well, and I've seen it invalidate on boom and crash very well. So yeah, yeah, so like, actually it actually depends on how markets tend to behave, you understand. I get this analysis some time ago, and I was like telling them that it will buy from this point. I gave it on the group, on our telegram, what, on our telegram channel. I gave it on our telegram channel, and I was like telling them that what, this stuff is going to what, is going to buy from that point. Although it didn't get to our entry because my this thing was not as big as this. My zone, I made the zone more close, like kind of stuff like this. Yeah, this was how my zone was. So it didn't get to what, my entry. Now let me even show you. Let me show you. So yeah, so as you can see here, I said what, almost got to what, almost got to my entry. So it almost got here before it started buying, and now it has bought a lot. I wasn't even watching it. As me I was watching, I would have probably entered, but I'm not sure because I don't like jumping into trades anyhow. So now let's get back into what we were talking about. So there's a second opportunity here. There's a second opportunity to get into this trade. There's a second chance rather to get into what, into this trade. So now what is the second chance? Now our second chance, now we're going to draw another zone. So first of all, like we can see, like you can see, this is actually what, this is a pattern. This is a pattern, a falling wedge. A falling wedge signifying what, signifying an upward what, an upward movement. So it will move up to what, to this particular what, this particular point where the reversal, where the trend line started from, rather where this trend line started from, to move up to where this trend line started from. So now what is our second chance of getting in? I think that is actually what everybody wants to know. Where can they buy from? You understand? Yes. So now there's something I actually want to even say. If you don't know how to trade, please and please and please, you know I'm saying, please and please, I'm begging, please and please, don't just go and type or press buy when you don't know what you're doing. You're just following what people are saying. Somebody say buy and you just press buy. Somebody say sell, you just press sell. You don't even know what the market is doing, how it's behaving. Nothing. All what you just know is just to press buy and sell. It's not right, please. It's not right, please. So let's endeavor to know what the market is doing. before we can enter what a trade. Now I placed this thing here because I wanted to do this video on time so that everybody could enter this trade, but some issues happened, so I couldn't make this video in time. Okay, so now let's now get into the lower time frame. Now what is our lower time frame telling us? Yeah, this was where I wanted us to get into the trade. Let me show you. There was what, there was kind of like, as you can see at this box here, there was what, should I say, consolidation there. Yeah, it's not like it's not really an M pattern though, but it's kind of like a consolidation. So it broke out of the consolidation, made a retest, gave us a what, an hammer, yeah, and was started pushing upward. So I wanted to post this so that everybody could enter, you understand, but still yet, still like that. Yeah, it has passed. So now let's look at what, let's look at our next point of what, our next point of entry. Now I will say, I will say, I just saw something now. I will say what made that thing to go up without reaching our zone is because of what? Because of this trend line. I think because of the trend line. Not really though. Not really because of the trend line. Not really. But still yet, it broke the trend line because look at, let me show you something. Some people will say what? Some people will say it did what? It invalidated. The scene has invalidated the trend line. No, it's going to sell. They will not be waiting for what, a retest at this point, a retest to sell on the lower time frame on 15 minutes. And what price will do is that price will just take them out and what, you understand. So that is why I say zone is better than what trend line. Zone to me is better than what a trend line. Yeah, it's far better than a trend line. If I go to my lower time frame now, I will see that what there was a trend line around this point here, like this, that supported what, the movement upward. First touch, second touch, and what, third touch. You may not see it. Okay, now let me go to my lower time frame. That is actually why I'm doing this video. Yeah, so that we actually get to what, we actually get to understand this. So now as you can see, yeah, let me make my voice loud. So now as you can see that what, there was a first touch, there was a what, second touch, and now it's what, it was the third touch. So that is why it pushed upward. Yeah, basically, you understand. Now it also did what, it also broke out of what, of this point also, you understand. Yeah, there was a slight retest, but me, I don't like entering with this slight retest. That is, when I say slight retest, that is this point here. I don't like entering with those type of slight retest because it may just kind of like trick you. They do trick a lot, you understand. So I don't use them to enter what, to get into a trade. So now basically on H4, our time has gone, our time is fast spent. Now basically on H4, what can we see? Now we can actually see what, a zone, also a zone upward like this. We can see a zone upward like this. So now I will say we'll wait for what, a breakout and a retest. Once it breaks out and makes a retest, then we'll get to enter this trade once again. Am I clear? Once it breaks out and what, make a retest, we see our confirmation. You must see our confirmation, please. Then we do what, we get to enter this trade and maximize our what, our trade. Yeah, we'll maximize our trade by placing good lot size, but still at that, apply the risk management. So now it could pick rejections from all these points. I placed a black line. So those points I placed a black line will be our what, our TPs. So you can use any of those points for what, your TP. You understand? So price could do what, price would pick rejections from all those points. And lastly, this could be the overall TP. It could be the overall TP, or maybe at this point here, or this point basically. So that is that for that. Let's go to the next pair. So our next pair is what? Our next pair is VIX 10, volatility 10. Oh gosh, reasons why I don't like MT5. Okay, so our next pair is what? Our next pair is VIX 10. Now what I can see here, you may not actually see it, but let me just show you. Okay, I can actually see a momentum candlestick, and price is actually rejecting downwards because of that. So not until the H4 candlestick, the present H4 candlestick closes, before we can get to what, enter the trade safely. You understand? Okay, now basically, should I go to day one? Okay, not really showing though. Not really showing on the one time frame. Let me go back to my H4. Now I'm coming. Let me. So yeah, thank you very much. So the video will be very long if I don't pause and draw. So now, like we can see, this is what, this is a falling wedge. So now, meaning that what, there could be a movement upward. Now our projection could be that what, it could reach this point. You understand? So now let's get into this. Now there's still another correction downwards here like this. There's still another correction, as I can see. There's still another correction downwards like this. So what could price do? Price could just do what? Price, let me draw the second trend line so that you get to see it very well. Let me draw the second trend line so that you get to see it very well. Okay, yeah, so there's actually a correction happening. Some people may draw it from this point like this. Okay, yeah, so there's actually a correction happening below here like this. So what I will say is this: either you wait for what, H4 candlestick to close, the present H4 candlestick, which is this one, the present H4 candlestick. Either you wait for the present H4 candlestick to close, the present one to close, before you buy, or before you start looking to buy. Not buy, not before you enter the buy. You start looking to what? Start looking to buy. Now let me show you something on H1. Now see, there's something on H1. I could put my zone at this point, or what, at this point here. So anywhere it gives me what, my confirmation, then I get to start buying. But make sure H4 candlestick closes before you was get into those trade. So now this could be our places, like our chances to buy. You stand either at this point, or what, or the upper one. You stand. So this will be our points, but wait for what, H4 candlestick to close before you get into the trade. Or better still, coming to H4, since this was kind of like a double bottom. Yeah, it looks like a double bottom, like you can see here like this. Or we can even, some people may call it triple bottom, because there was one here, second year, and also another one here. So since it gave us that type of distance, so we should do what, we should be waiting for what, a breakout of what, the upper zone. You understand? Just wait for what, the breakout of this upper zone. You stand before you get to enter this trade. A breakout, then a retest. A breakout, then a retest before you do what, before you get into this trade, to what, before you buy this trade. I hope you actually get what I just explained, before you buy the trade, basically. So now let's get into what, our next asset. Our next asset is what, VIX 101x. VIX 101x. Okay, yeah, I actually wanted to do this one lastly, but I decided to do it again. Decided to make it the third asset. Okay, so what can we see? Now, according to my H4, now, like I said, when you are doing analysis, go to your H4 time frame. Yeah, basically. So now, what can I see? I can see that what, this point is what, the third touch. Can you see it? This point is what, the third touch. So basically, we missed the trade. You understand? We missed the trade, and there was a bigger zone around this point. Can you see? There was a bigger zone around this point. So our next point of entry, simple as ABC. Our next point of entry is what, at the breakout of this zone, and what, at the retest. It is the best point to enter this trade. Wait for what? Wait for a breakout and a retest, then get to enter this trade from that point. Simple as ABC, I think. So, but your TP will be at this point. Your TP should be, your first one should be at this point here. At this point here, your second one should be around this point here. Then I think price will take rejection from this point. Price should take rejection. It should probably move downwards again. You understand? It should move downwards, so it could take rejection at that point. Probably you're expecting the M pattern on the daily time frame. So let me not go into that one before I confuse some of us. So yeah, so that is that for what, that is that for that, because if you even look at it, if you look at it very carefully, you see that what, it's also created another level here. Okay, look at it, there's a trend line here like this. Coming, yeah, if you actually take a look at it, there's a what, trend line here like this. Yeah, so it's could actually do what, it's actually forming a correction upward, so there could be what, a breakdown of what this stuff, you understand, then a downward movement. So don't hold to it too long, you understand, don't hold to it too long. So now let's go to what, fourth, I think our fourth here, our fourth listener, which is boom 1000. I actually want to analyze that stuff, boom 1000, because it's actually very very what, it's very very interesting. So now coming to what, coming to boom 1000, what can I see? Now I'll go to my day one time frame, because yeah, what I can see is, I can see kind of like an M pattern, and I can see a structure, a strong structure. I can see an M pattern, and I can see what, a very strong structure here like this. So it's kind of, should I say it's kind of complicating, or complicated, let me not say it's kind of complicated. Now I would have gone to weekly time frame to show you something, because I bought this trade very well. Let me go to my weekly time frame to show you something. Now this is my weekly time frame. Now let me show you. This is what, this is the first touch, second touch, and third touch. Now like I told us in currency video, I told us in the currency video, I said third touches are actually what, are actually very 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 important. Like our third touches are actually was very very important, because it's kind of like a strategy on its own. So what price is doing is that it could do what, it could break down to what, to this point, it could come down to this point after all, but it picked a rejection here because there was a what, there was a strong zone, you understand, there was a strong zone there, so that's why it picked a rejection upward. So now what price could do is that it could come to either this point, or from this point it move back upward, but it's kind of risky. But since it's on weekly time frame, we can get a good trade from a lower time frame. Now let me show you what I can see on what, on my day one time frame, or my H4, anyone. Now I can actually get to see what, I can get to see that what, there could be a what, third touch here. Can you see it's a what, a third touch? So let me go to my H4. Yeah, I actually sold this trade. I sold this trade from this point. Yeah, I sold this trade from this point. Everything are actually on the group. If you actually check below, you actually get to see what, you get to see the link to the group. So yeah, just check below around the channel, you actually get to see the link to what, the group. So I sold from around this point down to what, down to this point. Okay, now so that is that for what, that is that for that. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So um now there could be a what, there could be a third touch, and this thing could move upward, it could move upward from this point here like this. I think there will be a third touch around this point where my black line is, so it could move upward from what, from that point. So just look to what, just look to buy. But sorry, and if you can actually get to see, if you can actually get to see at this point here, if you can, if you can actually get to see at this point, at this point here, it's actually creating a what, it's actually creating a what, a correction pattern also. So there could be a what, a 4, you understand. So there will be a 4, definitely a correction pattern, probably it goes up here, then from here it will break down like this and start what, and start selling. Now when a trade is not clear, don't force that trade, just what, just leave the market, like just leave it alone. When you don't see something clearly, leave it alone. So I think that is what, that this is where we end for today. So if you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel, and also click the notification button so that you get updated, or you get notified when I upload a new video. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.